Hi guys, welcome to my channel. In last lecture we have seen basic concepts of object-oriented programming. In that we have seen what is a class is. So class is a way to bind data and its associated functions together. It allows data to be hidden. Data as well as it can make function also hidden but if required from external use. When defining a class, we are creating a new abstract type that can be treated like any other built-in type data. So while specifying class in C++, it has two steps. First is class declaration and second class functions definitions. So in class declaration, it specifies what are the variables are declared and what are the functions are declared in class. So class declaration describes the types and scope of its members. The class function definitions describe how the class functions are implemented. So here is general form of class declaration. We will see in detail. So class, this first that is keyword class we have to use. As it is keyword, it must be written in small case. Remember, C++ is case sensitive language. So keywords must be written in small case, otherwise it will throw error. So class, one space, name of the class whatever you want to give to your class. So class space class name. Opening curly brace. Here we can look at there are two sections, private and public. So in private also we can declare some variable, so variable declarations and function definitions. In public section also we can declare variables, so variable declarations and function declarations. Closing brace, end with semicolon. So whatever the private data is there, so what are the variables or functions which are declared as private, it will remain hidden for the remaining program. That means only the functions which are declared within the class can access the private data or the functions whatever specified over here. So this is data hiding feature of C++ or object oriented programming. So whatever the functions which are declared over here in public section, it will act as an interface between the private data and the outside world by passing the messages to the from outside to the outside world, from other part of the program to the class object to the specific function. So these public functions acting as an interface so that private data can be accessible. So what is message passing is what is wrapping up of data and functions under a single unit is encapsulation, data abstract type. Everything in detail we have seen in last lecture in basic concepts of object oriented programming. If required, in description box I am providing the link for that lecture. So again I am coming to the data hiding feature. So data hiding is most tracking feature in object oriented programming so that the data will remain secure from other side of the program, from rest of the program data will be secured. So here private and public, these two are again keyword, and this private is followed by a colon and also public is followed by a colon. So what is this? What is this called as? So these private and public, these are called as visibility labels or visibility modes or access modes for the data of our class. So these are called as private and public. This is called as data. This is called as visibility label, visibility mode, or you can also call this as access modes. So why this is essential? So it actually specifies scope for our data members and member functions of our class. What is the data member is? The variables which we are going to declare within the class, it is called as data members, while the functions which are declared within the class, these are called as member functions, and together they are called as members of class. So visibility labels, visibility modes or access modes specifies scope for the members, whether data members or member functions. So if the members are private, this can be accessible only within the class, not from outside. So it is actually providing the data hiding feature for the class member, while the members which are public may be data members or member functions. So whatever the members which are declared as public, this can be accessible outside the class also by using name of object. So mostly for the security purpose, all the data members are used to kept as private and all functions are used to put in public sections so that functions can be accessible from outside and data will remain secure. So by default, if I am not giving any of the visibility mode over here, I am just declaring variables, just declaring functions, by default it will be considered as private. So default visibility mode for the class is private. So if it is not specified, every member within the class is considered as private, maybe data members or member functions, and as it is considered as private, it will not be accessible from outside and there is no use of such a class. Now just look at the data hiding feature of class diagrammatically first. So this is diagram which is showing the data hiding feature of a class. So as per the syntax of class or as per the general form of class declaration, here in this diagram we are having two sections, private and public. Let us consider this outer square. This is my class. This entire is a class. In this class, I am having two sections. One is private and another is public. So, as per the declaration in given general form, in private section, we are having some data declared, we are having some functions declared. In public section also, there is some declaration of data, there is declaration of functions. Now we will see how the access permissions is given for the private and the public. First look at the private. So just we are looking for the data hiding feature. So if the data is written in private section, this data is accessible only by the functions which are declared within the class itself. So this function can access the private data. What are the functions which are declared over here? So these functions can also access the private data. That means private functions as well as public functions can access the private data because these are written within the same class. So only member functions can access the private data. the data or function is a public. So public data can be accessible by public function. Definitely it can be also accessible by private functions. So this public data and public functions are also accessible from outside the class, outside any function. Whatever written can access the public data and public functions. That means there is entry allowed to the public area, maybe for data or for function, whereas no entry to private area is allowed. So to the private area, outside entry is not possible. There is no entry. So in this way, private data can be accessible only within the class, only by the members of the class itself. So for outside world, it is considered that this data functions which are declared as private, these are hidden, as these are not directly accessible. So if we want to access this private data or function, we have to go through public functions. So from outside world, we will call public function. Within the public function, we can access the private data or functions, whatever it is. So this is the data hiding feature of object oriented programming, which is a very important or very by which we are getting the secure data in our program. So after this, we will see one example for the class. As per the general declaration or the general form of the class, here we have declared one class. Class keyword, name of the class is product, opening curly brace. I am here not specifying any visibility mode. That means by default this is private. So for int PNO I am using for product number. So PNO is of type integer, which is my variable declaration. You can say this is my data member. By default this is private. Float cost of product, this is also by default private. So as said, usually we used to keep all data as private for the security purpose, and in public section we used to keep our functions. So now in public section we have declared two functions: void get data in bracket int a comma float b, end with semicolon. End with semicolon indicates that it's a declaration. You can say this is function declaration. You can say this is my function prototype for the member function. Similarly, void put data in bracket void, it means that put data is another member function which is again public, which is not accepting any parameter, so void is written there. This void is not compulsory. You can just keep this bracket as empty also, that is still okay. And the return type of the function put data is again void. My class declaration is over. So closing curly brace, end with semicolon. This end with semicolon indicates that statement A, class declaration is over. So once the class is declared, we can create n number of variables of type class, that is called as object of class. So once the class is declared, we can create any number of objects. So here just we will see how the objects are created in C++. So creating object. So I want to create one object for product. Let us consider I want to give object name as P1. So here the statement written product space P1 end with semicolon. Just as I said earlier, class is abstract data type, user defined data type. So the name of the class, one space, variable name, that is class name and object name. This is similar to our declaration of usual variable, just like as I have declared here int PNO float cost. The same syntax over here, only instead of built-in data type, here we are using name of class, and what are further written, this is called as object. So meaning of this statement is P1 is object of class product. When we create object, at the same time memory will get allocated to that object, and to allocate memory, the declaration of the class, this template is used. Remember, when we declare class, at the time of class declaration, it will not allocate any memory. It is just a template which specifies how much amount of memory will require when the object is created. So when P1 object is created, by following this template as per the requirement, that much amount of memory is allocated to P1. If we want to declare many objects, multiple objects on the same statement, on the same line, we can declare multiple objects separated by comma, just like usual variables. So here product space P2 comma P3 comma P4 end with semicolon indicates that P2, P3 and P4, these three objects are of type class product. So three objects are created on this by using this statement, and after the execution, by execution of this statement, as per the requirement, as per the specification of this template of this class, required amount of memory will be allocated to P2. Amount of memory will be, size of memory for every object will be definitely same, because members will remain same. So memory will get allocated to P2 as well as to P3 as well as to P4. Separate memory will get allocated to every object whatever you are going to declare. One more way to create object for your class is like this. When we used to declare our class, after this closing curly brace, immediately here also we can declare objects just like this. Here I have declared three objects, x, y, z. That means this x, y and end with semicolon. It means that x, y and z, these three are objects of class product. And after the declaration of the class, immediately three objects are created, and that much and the required amount of memory will be allocated to x, y and z object. Remember, this semicolon is again important over here. It indicates end of your statement. So like this, we can create objects for our class by any of the method whatever we want. So either one object on one line, multiple objects on the same line, or after the end of a class immediately we can specify object names. Okay, class is declared, objects are created. Now we want to access these methods or the members. So how to access members? So accessing class member, here is a syntax is So if I want to access any member function of class, this is the syntax: object name dot function name. Definitely this is a member function, in bracket actual arguments, and here close the bracket, and you have to give here semicolon, end with semicolon. So object name dot member function name in bracket actual arguments, whatever we want to pass. So as just we have seen one example for class, here we are having two methods, get data as well as put data. So how to access these methods? If I want to access get data, as already we have declared one object P1, I can use this object P1 over here. P1 dot get data, in bracket I have passed two parameters because two parameters are declared in the class declaration in prototype. So I must pass two values, 1 comma first argument is 1, that is integer, second argument is float. For that I am giving value 77.0 suppose. So 1 will be given to A, 77.0 will be given to B, and it will call method get data of our, that is member function of our class. So this is the syntax to call member function: object name dot member function name in bracket list of arguments, which will be actual arguments. So P1 dot get data in bracket 1 comma 77.0 end with semicolon. Or if we want to call put data, as put data is not taking any of the parameter, it's a void, it can be simply called as P1 dot put data. P1 again name of object, put data is dot is the operator which is used to access member function or member of a class. So P1 dot put data, empty parenthesis end with semicolon, it will call put data function of our class product. So if we are outside the class, if we access members as follows. Let us consider we are working in some part of the program which is outside the class. That means we are not working on working within any member function outside the class. We are working somewhere on some line, and there we are writing the statement like this. That means we want to access get data method outside the class, and I am specifying the statement as get data in bracket 1.77.0. If get data is usual function, then it's okay, but now get data is a member function which is written under the scope of class product. So to access this get data as it is specified in the public section outside the class, we can access this, but it should get accessed by the proper format. To access this get data, object name will be essential. So without object we cannot call this get data. So this get data is invalid. Put data, similarly put data is also a member function. Without object we cannot call put data method outside the class. P1.pno equals to 0. For pno, object number, object name is used, dot operator is given, and then the member name is given, and then it is accessed. We are assigning value 2 to that. But still it is invalid because we are using this statement outside the class first, and pno is a private data. Private data will never get access from outside the class. So all these three statements are considered as invalid. These are invalid. We cannot use these statements like this. Okay, right? So let us see one more example. Here one more class is there. Class suppose ABC, opening curly brace, int A, int B, as no visibility label is given over here, by default it is private. So A is private, B is private. That means A and B is not directly accessible from outside the class. This is hidden from outside. Whereas in public, I have declared one data item in C. Suppose after at the end of class, here I have declared object name is obj, suppose, and the semicolon. Now outside the class, I am going to access these members. Obj dot a equals to 10. So A is private, it will never get access from outside, so this statement is invalid. Obj dot b equals to 20. B is again private, it is not accessible from outside the function, outside the class. Class is going to over here only. Outside the class, it is not accessible. We are not working in some member function, we are working in some other part of the program. So this private data is not accessible to outside from outside outside class, so this is invalid. Obj dot c equals to 30. C is again a data member. I am going to access this data member by using my object name obj. So obj dot c equals to 30, but now this time this is valid because C is public, because C is public, so it is accessible to from outside the class. C is valid as it is public, whereas this is invalid because invalid as it is private. So both of these invalid as these are private. So this is about accessing members. So whatever the, if you want to access any public function, you can access like this from outside the class. If you want to access any public function, you can access like this: object name dot function name in bracket actual arguments. If you want to access any public data member, you can access again like this: object name dot data member name equal to value, or simply object. If you are putting this in expression, you cannot use C directly, you have to specify object dot data member name. So this is all about accessing members, maybe member function or data members from outside the class. So up till now we have just seen how to declare a class, how to create object, how to access member, but still the second step, just again I move up, the second step, class function definition, is still remain. Now let us look at the class function definition. So here class functions can define in two ways: defining functions or defining member functions. Member functions can be defined outside the class or inside the class. When the functions are get defined inside the class, it is also called as inline functions. It is also called as inline functions when these are declared within the class. Okay. So first we will see how to define method or function outside the class. So the syntax is: return type name of the class name, scope resolution operator. This red string is very important. This is additional thing in the function definition. After that, function name, argument declarations, that means data type of argument, data type argument name comma data type argument name, that means the list of arguments separated by commas. So after that, within curly brackets, opening and closing curly brackets, you have to write the function body. So if I remove this red part, this red string, remaining definition is just like our usual class definition, with the function headed as return type, function name, list of arguments, and the function body. But here, as it is a member function, this name of the class and the scope resolution we have to add in the function definition, which specifies that as first thing we are going to define function outside the class. So scope should be specified where the function is declared. As we are going to declare a function within the class, scope of the function is within the class itself, so it is written class name and the scope resolution operator. So it specifies that this function name having scope in specified class name. So this function is available in specified class name. So this is another use of scope resolution operator. Scope resolution operator in detail we have already seen. If you want, I am specifying link for scope resolution operator in description box. So there is one interesting thing because of this syntax. There is one interesting thing about the member functions. It may happen that in one program we are having multiple classes. It may happen that in two classes same function name is used. Let us consider I am having two classes, class 1 and class 2. In both of these classes, I am going to declare show method. Class 1 also having show method and class 2 also having show method. And I want first thing whether it is possible or not. So it is definitely possible. Same function name we can use in different classes. And this is possible because of this class name and scope resolution operator. So whenever we will going to define the show method, even though outside the class, we will specify show method with the name of the class. So like this, return type, suppose class 1 scope resolution show method, show and the list of arguments. Then I will define for show of class 2, I will write return type class 2 scope resolution show and the argument list and the function body. So as everywhere we are going to specify class name and the scope resolution operator, different classes can have the same function name, that is possible. Member functions can access the private data of the class. A non-member functions cannot do so. So as in a data hiding feature we have seen, only the member functions can access the private data. If there is any another function written which is not a member of a class, it cannot access the private data of your class. So these are two essential or interesting things about the member functions. Okay, so this is how to define method outside the class. So here is one example. As we have seen in class example, we have we have used two methods, get data and put data. So this get data and put data we are going to define over here. So outside class definition example, return type was void. So void, name of the class is product. So product, scope resolution operator, get data in bracket int a comma float b. So as per the declaration, here the function header is taken. Only the additional thing is that we are specifying the scope. It means that get data function is member of class product. It is get data method is available in class product. It is under the scope of class product. This is meaning. After that, here I have written one code, piano equals to a. So whatever the first argument is coming, this first argument I am going to pass to piano, which is my private data member. So within the member function, we can access private data directly. So here I can write private data directly accessible. Private data is directly accessible within the member function. So piano equals to a, cost equals to b. This is the definition for get data. And input data I want to display. So input data I want to display value of piano and value of our product cost. So here I want to print piano equals to, so I edit here some part. So I will print value of piano. So piano equals to piano cascading output. After that I add /n, and here on next line I want to display cost value for the product. So that will be cost equal to cost. After that I want to add new line character, so cursor will come on next line. So this is definition for get data and put data. So how to define member function within the class? So inside class definition we can also define method. So mostly when the function body is small, just one line or two line, it is of type simple, or a short function code. If we want to write a short function code, then we used to define methods within the class definition. So when the class definition is given inside the class, it is called as inline function. So this is called as inline function of a class, because it is declared function, within the class. So all the inline function rules are applicable to these inline function methods, or inside class definition. Whatever the functions are defined here, it will it will follow all the rules of inline functions. So already in one lecture inline functions we have discussed. So if you want, I am going to provide link for inline function also in description box. So here I am going to, for the same example product class, we are now going to define our put data method within the class definition. So the code is same, only it is written within the class. So class product, int piano, float cost, these are private members by default. In public section, void get data int a comma float b. Get data method is this. Get data method is declared. So I move this. Over here, and so I copy. Okay, no need to copy. So in here void put data void. So here listen, I am going to provide here function definition. So I am not using here semicolon. If I provide here semicolon, that means it will be only the declaration. I want to add here definition, so semicolon is removed. So void put data void, after the immediately opening curly brace. The code is same here. Cout piano equals to piano /n for new line. Cout cost equals to cost and new line character /n. And here the function definition is over. So for the function, the end of the function definition, no need to give here semicolon, not required. It is our end of function. After that I am going to end my class. So this is end of class with closing curly brace, but here semicolon is essential as per the syntax of class or specification of class in C++. So this is defining function inside the class, outside the class, everything. Now let us move to the small program in C++. So here one code already I have written over here. So the same whatever example just we have seen, same example here I have written. I have created one file class demo.cpp. So required files are include iostream.h, content.h. Our class is declared class product. In that I have declared, as just we have seen in example, int piano float cost. So this is I add here comment. So this is by default this is my private data member. Similarly, this cost, this is also my private data member by default. In public section, so as these are private, these are hidden from outside. It is not accessible directly from outside the class. Piano and cost can be accessible only by the member functions, that means by get data or put data. So in public section I have declared two functions, get data. So void get data in bracket int a comma float b end with semicolon. This is my public function. This is function declaration. This is function declaration, whereas here this is a second function, void put data. Immediately after this put data I am going to define over here. So I write here function definition, that is inline function. This is my inline function. So as per the rule, it should be short and function code is very small. So in put data function, I have written just single statement, cout in double quotation /n product number equals to PNO, that is value of PNO. Cout in double quotation /n product cost equals to double quotation close, that is value of cost, it will print over here. End of put data method, end of class ends with semicolon. So outside the class, we are going to define get data method. So demo for both, defining method inside, defining method outside the class. So one function is defined outside the class. So as per the syntax, return type of the get data is void, name of the class product, scope resolution operator, get data, argument list int a comma float b. It means that get data method is declared under the scope of product class product. So whatever the value first parameter a is given over here, this we are going to assign so to PNO. So here we are going to accessing private data. PNO as well as cost, both are private. So PNO equals to A, cost equals to B. So in main function, so class is declared first, method is defined. Now we are writing the main function void main. So in main we have just created first one object for product. Name of the class product, object name is P1. So here I add comment, object is created. So when the object is created, as per the requirement, the amount of memory will get allocated to the object. So after that, clear screen, it will clear this output screen at the time of execution. P1.getData, we are calling member function. We want to assign product number and cost to our listen. Every object will have all the members of class. Whenever I am going to declare here object P1, that means my product P1 will have product number as well as it is having cost. But I want to assign some values to that. But PNO and cost, these are private members, these are not directly accessible. So I can access this by using the member function only. So here that's why I am calling member function as getData. So P1.getData with values 1, 22.50. So here accessing member function. Definitely it should be public. Accessing member function. So this is again I do here copy. I paste over here. This is again access for the member function. We are calling here put data. We will also hand run to this. So when put data will get executed, it will display the values of product number and the product cost. Another object of the product is created. So product P2. So when the object is here, object one more object of product is created. One more object is created. That means again this product P2 will have some product number, will have some cost, but we have to assign some values for that. And as just as I said before, P&O and cost, these are not directly accessible, these are hidden, these are written in private section, this is private data. So to access this private data we have to use get data method, so where we can assign values of parameters to the private data members as written as per the code written. So p2.getData, here again, here I can write the same thing, here accessing member function for P2. So definitely depend upon the whatever how many number of objects I am going to create. For every object I have to call get data and put data methods separately to assign values to data members or display the values of data members. So for P2 again I am going to repeat two statements. P2 dot get data with values 2.55. So for P2 I have passed these two parameters. Accessing member function, this is also accessing member function to display the values of product P2. Now we will handle this code. When product P1 is created, it assign the amount of memory, that is memory will get allocated only for the data members. Function memory is getting shared. That part also we will see later how the memory allocation is done. So for integer and for float, whatever the memory is required, so that memory is allocated to every object. So that means our P1 will have space to store value for product number, to store value for cost, memory is available. So when P1.getData is called, here we are passing two parameters 1, 22.50. So we will handle this. So here it will come and it will pass values as 1, 22.50. That means value of A is 1, value of B is 22.50. So P&O of product P1 will be 1 and here product P1 cost will be 22.50. After that we have called here put data method for P1. So just as we know that P&O is 1, cost is 22.50. So when we will call this put data method for P1 here, so as every object will have separate memory to store the members, so separate values can get stored in every object. So here product number of P1 is 1 and cost of P1 will be 22.50. So this will be our output. So after that we have created second object. So second object, again the memory is allocated for one to store one integer and to store one float. The memory is allocated for P2. So again for P2 we have to store, here we have called get data method. So okay, what I do here okay, here for the second product the values are 2 and 55. So the get data method when get called, here the values are 2, 55.0. That means value of A, value of P&O will be 2 and value of cost will be 55.0. So these are the values of product number P&O and cost of second product P2. After that we have called P2.putData. So that means we are going to execute now put data method. So as just we have seen, for second product P2, PNO is 2, it will display product number equals to 2, and it will display product cost as 55.0. So this is our 100. Now let us save our program, compile, yes, and execute. We will verify our result. See, same result we are getting. Product number equals to 1. For P1, our product number is 1. Product cost is 22.5. For second product P2, product number is 2 and product cost is 55. So as per our expectations, we are getting the same results. So if we look at the structure, here we have declared class first, we have defined methods, and at the end we have defined main function. But we know that C or CPP program always runs from, it always execute first the main function. So even though the class is written first, execution gets start from bottom of our code. So this approach of OOP is also called as bottom up approach. From bottom to up it is going to execute. So it is called as bottom up approach. So we will see the data hiding feature programmatically also. What I said, private data is not accessible outside the class. If I'm going to show here values of P1, let us see Cout. I want to print value of PNO of P1, and I'm writing here P1 dot PNO. So it will definitely throw an error because PNO is private data. So it will throw an error. I am going to save again. I am going to compile again. It will throw error. See, one error is there. Look at the error. Product number PNO is not accessible. So this PNO is not accessible because this is private. Similarly, if I am going to write here cost, still it is not accessible because cost is also private. So outside the class, we are working in main, outside the class, cost is also not accessible. Again I am going to save, I am going to compile, it will throw error. See, one error, same result, is not, cost is not accessible because it is private. So I remove this. So this is the data hiding feature. Private data is not accessible from outside the class. So this is all about the class, how to specify class, how to define methods, how to create object, how to use class, everything about the classes over here. Okay, thanks for watching. Keep watching.